Hey guys, so in this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys questions that you can ask people that require more than like a yes or no response. These questions, they go little deeper than most like surface level questions, which a lot of people ask. Like a lot of guys will ask very logic based yes or no questions. Women have a much better time asking questions just because women are naturally more social. However, this channel, I teach men and women how to be more social, more extroverted. So the questions I'm going to ask you, these will help you connect with anybody on like a deeper level, because the questions that I'm going to be talking to you about in this video, they require the person to go into their previous experiences or like brain and search for an answer. So I have been studying like neuro-linguistic programming, so like a lot of language patterns, presuppositions, emotional state eliciting questions, and that's where these are all coming from. So the questions I'm going to be asking you, they require people to go deeper. And that's what I mean by you're going to be able to connect with anybody, because if you could make someone, like if you ask questions that people love talking about themselves, people are very selfish and people like it when they get to talk about themselves. And that's what these questions are designed to do. And if you can get somebody, now they have to be willing to talk to you. So if you're like cold approaching a guy or a girl, they've got to like you enough to want to open up to you, because there are people where if you ask them questions like these, they will get very offended. And that's usually people that have had a lot of like trauma in their past that they just haven't worked through. And if you ever come into contact with someone like that, I really don't recommend you talk to them. And it's just because we want to talk to people that we get along with. And if they're making conversations difficult or getting offended, that's not going to make you feel good, and then things aren't going to go well from there. Okay, so these questions are, I write these down, man. These are really good questions, and I might try to explain them a little differently off the top of my head if that comes to mind when I talk about them. So before I get into the video, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. You would help promote the channel into the algorithm. All right, guys. Number one is going to be, so mind you, pay attention to how I say these, because none of these questions, you can't say any of these questions. Like, let me read you the first one. Okay. What do you wish people understood about you without you needing to explain it? Okay. You can't say it like that. So you would, hey, what do you wish people understood about you without like you needing to explain it? Okay, that would be a way that you would get to be. So minus those pauses that I used, we add those little micro pauses because it gives the person's brain to process what it is that you're saying. So if you speak fast naturally, and I naturally speak fast too, but I speak fast in like a way that I can still get my sentences out properly. But if you like a man talking to a girl, if he speaks really fast like this, then the woman can tell that he's getting really nervous, and it's going to be really hard to like understand him like that. You see what I mean? So that's why you want to talk. Hey, what do you wish people understood about you without you, needing to explain it? So you see how I'm adding a little bit of extra words in there, because depending on what you're gonna like, depending on the conversation in the moment, you might not say this word for word. Because word for word, what do you wish people understood about you without you needing to explain it? There are things that, like, if the person, let's say the person is very like, like I'm very extroverted. So, but when I talk to people that say they're introverted, extroverted, I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Like, you're introverted, extroverted, like you, I'm like, what does that mean? Like they would have to explain that. Well, what I mean by introverted, extroverted is like, I can go out and, I can be around people, and I can talk to people if they talk to me, but then I don't like being out. I got to stay home. So what they're trying to say is like, I have a social battery that just drains a lot faster. I prefer being by myself, but I can go out if I need to. That's kind of what they're trying to say. Whereas for me, I hate being by myself. I can do it. I live in a house by myself, but I like being around other people. I thrive in social environments. So that's one question that you can ask somebody. And let's say, like, if you're talking to like a guy or a girl, they might have something that they get asked a lot of questions on, but it's like they're just trying to, that would be a way that they would have to, I mean, obviously they're going to have to explain it to you, but that's the question is just designed to get them to explain it so you can know them a little better. Okay, that's the whole point of that. So now the second one is going to be, I think this one is like this one's really good, and this, like, you'll see why. What's something that matters to you that you don't get to talk about much. So that could be like if it's a, let's say it's a girl and she does like she's big on like environmental causes or social justice or or like some kind of movement that matters to her, and not a lot of people support it, or she's never in a situation where she gets to talk about it. That's a way to get something. Or maybe she likes reading a very specific genre of books that not many people like reading, so she doesn't get to talk about that genre of book much. But if you ask her that question, and it's like, for example, let's say she likes reading like fairy tale novels, but a lot of people like reading sci-fi thrillers. Well, people are going to want to talk about sci-fi thrillers because they're more popular, but the fairy tale novels, and this is just an example, they're not as popular. So she's not going to be able to talk about those books as much because a lot of people won't understand what like the books are about. So that's why we want to ask that question. Okay. So again, what's something that matters to you that you don't get to talk about much? And if they have like a cause or something they really care about, they're going to tell you. The next one is going to be, what kind of person do you really connect with? And then I added on, what are they like? So for me, if you ask me that, Mitchell's answering, what kind of person do you really connect with? What are they like? I am somebody that I really connect with, somebody that's just as outgoing and extroverted as I am. I love being able to ask somebody a question and they just start talking. So when I talk to girls and I ask women question and they just start talking like girls do, I love that because I was raised by my mom. My dad and stepdad were never really in my life, so I just grew up naturally behaving like a woman basically. So that's why women say like 8,000 words a day. Men say on average, I think it's like 2 or 3. I'm up at like 5 or 6, dude. I could talk to a fucking wall if I needed to. And that's what I mean. Like I get along very well with somebody where I can just ask them a question. They don't get offended by whatever I ask and they just explain it. If I ask somebody a question about their personal life, they're willing to tell me. They're very open. I've had people where I ask deeper questions like this and they got offended. I don't like that. If I talk to somebody and they say like a 1 or 2 word response, but I gave them an open-ended question, you're not giving me a lot to work with. I don't like that. I need you to be willing to explain your answer. I need you to mirror the energy I'm giving you. If I'm in a good mood, I want you to be in a good mood. That's the kind of person I connect with, is somebody that's when I talk to them, it feels effortless. I ask a question, they answer. They ask me a question, I answer, and we go back and forth. That's what I would answer, okay? Now, the next one. Is there anything you enjoy doing that you don't get to do much? Maybe this is a person, whether like if it's a guy, maybe let's say like it's a dad. He's a father of 2 or 3 and he's got a wife and he works like 60 hours a week. This might be a guy that really enjoys playing video games, but I'm 30 years old right now and now I might play for like an hour, maybe 2 a night, depending on the night. I don't get to play video games as much as I used to anymore. Now, I don't care about playing them as much anymore because my priorities, they change the older you get. Like I've got bills to pay and whatnot. Like this house ain't gonna pay for itself. But that's what I mean. Is like if you ask a guy that, well, I might, I actually really like playing video games. I don't get the time to anymore just because I got 2 or 3 kids, 2 daughters and a wife, and then that's a headache in itself. And then my job, blah, 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 blah. And if you ask a woman that, she might say, actually, I really enjoy like knitting stuff. I've done it in the past. My grandma showed me how to do it, and I just really haven't sat down to do it again. See, that's a way that they're going to answer. And now, so you like knitting? Really? What about that? What about that do you like? I don't think I've ever met somebody that said they enjoyed knitting. See, now you're getting to know them. The last one, guys, have you ever done anything that really excited you that you would like to do it again? So we're assuming that they did something once and they haven't been able to do it again. So let's say that they went on, I live in Florida, so let's say it's, I got to go on a cruise to the Bahama one time, and that was awesome. That was like 5 years ago, and I haven't done another one, and I really want to go back. You see, that's the way that they would answer that question to give you an example. Or maybe, like, as I've lived in Florida, I'm 30 years old, I've never seen snow. If I said, like, I saw snow one time and it was really awesome, I would love to go and see it again. That's where that question would come in. Okay, have you ever done anything that really excited you? So me going and seeing snow for the first time that you would like to do again? Yeah, I would like to go and see snow again. Now, I haven't, but that was the example to explain that question. So that's going to be the video, guys, on how you can connect with anybody. Write these questions down. These are awesome to ask. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, guys, I will see you in the next one.